If you're in pursuit of growing a thick, wide back, then you will not regret clicking on this video. I'm peak way through the bulk and the back training is going really, really well. We're gaining numbers upon numbers, week on week. So what I have in store for you today is why having a thick, wide back is cool as fuck and the benefits that come with it. The most common mistakes that people make when training back, and I'm going to give you the best exercises in order of like where you should start and where you should progress onto, what should absolutely be in your program, and you nail those first, and then as a result you'll be able to get onto maybe more advanced and different exercises to absolutely blow up your back. Why should you listen to me? Well, to be honest, I didn't start out with the biggest of back. In fact, I didn't start out with the biggest of fucking anything, to tell you the truth. I was probably built for running, however, I do not identify as a runner. I will be jacked, and I will move heaven and earth to make it happen, and I'll also bring you guys along for the ride and make sure you get jacked as well. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergey. I run the Gorilla Platoon Physique Development Transformation Program, which you can see the results on Instagram or maybe on this channel as well. If you're coming back, thank you for revisiting the channel. You know I don't really deliver any sucky fluff, so you're going to get technical advice, how to specifically move your arm path, how to best train your back and not blow up your fucking biceps in the process of it. We're going to build you a big boy back off the back end of it. So just know, I did not start out this way with a big back, but I have moved heaven and earth to make it happen. So why having a big strong back is cool as fuck? First of all, it erects your posture. Who here wants to walk around the earth flaccid or erect? I know which side I'm on. If you walk around erect, that would change how you are as a person. Like, how you stand is how you act. You've seen those people that slumped over, life's a bit hard for me. Everything's tough. Where there's those people that stand there like fucking doormen, like, yeah, I'm ready to penetrate the fucking earth. That's literally, if you have a strong back, if you built your back, you walk around, you're like, oh yeah, lower lats are fucking pumped after yesterday's session. Oh yeah, my back's feeling nice and tough and strong. Oh yeah, because I'm pulling them back. Now look, chest out, head up, going to penetrate through life. It's fucking weird and it's subtle, but like actually if you build a strong back, you're going to stand with better posture. If you stand with better posture, you're just going to be in a better elevated state. How you look, like you read someone's body language, that tells you pretty much how that person's feeling or acting. We know words are almost the last little concept of understanding someone's mood and how they're generally feeling. So weirdly enough, by building a strong back, you'll stand with better posture and ultimately you'll feel more proud and confident about yourself, which who here would rather feel like that going into every other aspect of their life? You feel more proud and confident. Are you going to perform better at work or worse? If everything was the same and you just had those variables to change, probably better. You walked around proud amongst your group of friends, are they going to be more warm towards you or worse? Or away from you? They're probably going to be more warm towards you. Like, are you going to look more attractive to women if you stand up straight versus... Like, what do you think? Like, the answer's obvious and it sounds weird, but just by tightening up your fucking posture and build a strong back, it's actually going to have a weird side effects into everyday life. On top of that, strong back helps train chest. Let's be honest, you would rather have, if I said pick one muscle that wants to be fucking jacked, it's going to be chest or arms. If you have a strong back, it will make training chest a hell of a lot easier. Why? Because in order to train your chest correctly, you need to stabilize your scapula. What's going to stabilize your scapula? Well, let's just put it bluntly, but the muscles in the back. I won't get technical because you don't fucking care. But all that matters is, if you've got a strong back, you can stabilize your scapula. Now you can focus on shortening of the pecs and blowing the pecs up. And also, going back to the posture piece, if you've managed to train your mid-upper back, lower traps, and your chest is out, you're going to show more of your chest. Let's be honest, like, if you round your shoulders forward, you're not going to show that much of chest. If you've blown your back up and your chest is out all the time, your chest is going to look bigger anyway. So weirdly enough, if you want a big chest, you need to focus on your back as well to build the foundations to then build the solid chest. Just like I say, if you want to get really fucking jacked and go on a big gaining phase, it would actually serve you to get to 8 to 10% body fat if you're not already there, because then you've got a solid foundation and a big long headway to go and gain from and maybe accumulate a little body fat along the way. So it will actually serve you to blow up your back if you want a big chest. Now, we were going to roll straight into exercises. I'm going to do them in order of what I think you should start on, and then we'll progress onto other ones. I'm going to give the mistakes with the exercises because obviously that makes sense. Let's roll straight in. So the very first exercise I would have you do would be a single arm pull down. Now, just quickly, let's understand the anatomy of the lats, because that's what this specifically is going to train. Your lats start down here towards where your hip bone is. Obviously, they're attaching onto the spine as well, but the fibers are running up and finishing here on your humerus. So what we really want to do is think about bringing your humerus down towards your hip to contract that lat as much as we possibly can. So why is this a great exercise? Because you can manipulate the arm path to be as close to the body as humanly possible to get that feel and to get that action performing. So as we watch this video here, look how I've set myself up. Arm prized against the bench, chest up, torso doesn't move. Length slightly back, but not too far back. Because if you lean too far back, it'll end up becoming like a row. You've seen people that fucking row their lat pull down. It's a pull down, so you want to pull downwards. Now, when you do this exercise, think about keeping your arm as close to the body as possible. And this is why I programmed this exercise first. Because people will do lat pull down on stupidly wide bars. They'll pull down there, and their arm will be out here. You want your arm as close to the body as possible and as low down as possible. Why? Because you're trying to shorten the lat as much as humanly possible. Can you shorten it more if it's closer to the body or further away? It's going to be further away, isn't it? Mistakes people will make with this is as they come up towards the top, let me just rewind the video slightly, they will come higher than this, which means if you go higher than where you are here, where's the tension now? Is it on the lat or is it moved onto the shoulder? Same as when you chest press. If you come past here and go to there, is the tension on the chest or is it on the shoulder? It's probably moved onto the shoulder. That'll be the biggest mistake people do. The next mistake people do is as they pull down, they'll follow it and they'll twist with it. You're twisting your hips. You're not shortening your lat. You're twisting your hips to do the movement. Don't think about the movement being pull the weight down. No. Think about shortening the lat. As a result, the weight will follow you. So what people will get wrong is they'll pull it from their hands. Because they pull from their hands, their elbow joint will move first, so their bicep will fucking really, really engage. Then they'll like squash it down like so. But you don't want to do that. You want to keep your torso up as much as possible and drive the elbow to the hip, ignoring everything from above here. This will follow suit anyway. Don't think about pulling the weight down. Instead, think about dragging your elbow towards your back pocket, wrapping the lat around the spine. Little tip with a hand, have it in what's known as like slight supination, so it's not out here facing the other way, because that way naturally you're going to think about wrapping the lat around the spine in this position here. Now I'd put this first because it's single arm. You can marry yourself up, your lat, right underneath the mechanism that you're pulling from. Do it on a dual cable stack. Just align your bench up to one side of the cable. Keep your bench as upright as possible, not as far forward. And think about dragging the elbow to the hip. Keep the arm as close to the body as possible. And if you've never done this exercise before, fuck me, you will come off with very, very toasted lats. Let me tell you that for free. Let's roll on to the next exercise. So as we know, that exercise is going to make the back nice and wide, but we also want to make the back thick. So we need to hit the upper back region. Most people are weak in this area, so you're going to have to go fairly light to start with on this. Now, if we want to train this here, what you don't want to do is thinking about pulling from your hands, because again, you will snatch from the elbow joint, you'll close the arm, the bicep will get toasted really, really fucking fast. If you've not got straps, your forearms will blow, and this big boy muscle up here, it just won't get the stimulus that it needs. So, what we're going to tell you to do instead, this is subtle, but you should be able to see it. Look to move the shoulder blades first, almost like you're going to shrug, but that will only take you so far. So how do you contract the muscle further? You then think about the elbow being dragged back behind the body. Shrug, elbow comes back. Squeeze at the top. It's fucking hard at the top. Just grind it out. Hold it for a split second. Have that discipline. Slowly release there. Pause at the bottom. When you come to the bottom, keep the tension on. So it should feel like it's really pulled out your upper trap region, your mid trap region, but there's tension on that muscle. Otherwise, like, you would just like prolapse your back, for a better term. So there's tension on, and you're going to drive then shortening that muscle and just absolutely torturing the lat. And when this gets hard, it gets really fucking hard. So I get it if towards the last few reps, your chest starts to come off a little bit, your form starts to go a little bit, because that means you're training with true intensity. However, that should not be happening in the first few reps. Let me tell you that for free. Hopefully you've got this machine. If you haven't, I want you to use dumbbells. Dumbbells can be replicated in exactly the same way. But we'll see how the form breaks down here. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying as a result of really going for it, more than likely that's going to happen. Now, something I've neglected for the longest time, and you can kind of see it on these photos, is my upper trap region. Only in the last 6 weeks have I really been dialing in and focusing on it. Now, when you want to train your upper traps, I wouldn't use dumbbells. And the reason being because you can't physically hold your dumbbells in the alignment I've done with the cable here. You have to hold them by your side. Which means when you pull them, you can kind of pull them backwards. And don't get me wrong, you could still do it. I'm not saying it's a ridiculous way of training them. If it's all you've got, I'd probably still use it. I'd just do it a little bit different. I'd probably angle myself on a bench so I can still pull back. But what you want to think about doing is dragging your shoulders like back here behind your head, not up in line with your ears. So take control of the cable stack. And then this is a short movement, obviously, because like in the row, you're only pulling your shoulders up and back, or you've contracted that muscle. As you come down to the bottom, do feel it actively pull out your traps, and then think to shrug up and back. Hold for a good second at the top, because honestly, it's not a big movement, so your tempo wants to be spot on with this. You'll find you can shift a lot of load quite quickly when you really start to nail it down, but I feel like this is one where mind-muscle connection does need to be really dialed in. Your posture is another one. Like actually, if I was to perfect this posture, I think if I look up a little bit more, it would probably serve me in terms of staying tight. You could support yourself on a bench and lean back against the bench, but what I'm doing here is I'm contracting my glutes and my quads and my core to just keep me stirred as fuck as I'm pulling, and even then we can still see there's a little bit of movement, and that would probably get worse and worse towards the back end of the set. So this would be the next exercise, or the next exercise I do actually do for training my back. Quite low level, not really so taxing. Your arms want to stay straight, which also means you're not going to get any bicep. I would strap up to this. I do normally strap up to this, but obviously not this example. So you want to take grip strength out of the equation, and really should just be coming off there with blown up upper traps. Upper traps are really nice. They do give that physique a very, very good look. To be honest, I wish I started doing them sooner, but the next best time to do them was as I am doing them right now. Let's move on to the next exercise. Now, one of the holy grail exercises for training your lats is the lat pull down, conveniently enough. Where this gets butchered so much is people will use tools where they're just too fucking wide for you, to be honest. Like, it wants to fit your structure. Your structure for your lats is probably as wide as your shoulders is. Find a bar that is that wide, and that is what you need. Most people will get away with a smaller bar than what you actually thought, because again, we wanted to keep those elbows as close to the body as possible. So now as we do this exercise, what we're thinking about doing is the same as a single arm pull down, but we've just doubled it up with double arm. And also that the beauty of the lat pull down is you're wedged in. You can't fucking move anywhere. So this is locked. All you now need to think about is chest up, and that's you. You're done. Try not to lean too far back on this one. Try to stay as far underneath it as possible. But the most common mistake people will make on this, when it gets hard, they will round their chest. They will go like this. They'll go, and they'll fold their chest inwards. If you fold your chest inwards, you're doing the opposite of what we wanted to do with the muscle. We wanted to tighten it and shorten it. You will, if anything, you will stretch it back out. So you're just pulling the weight down, and if anything, when you get to that last little bit, you're just tensing up the bicep. There's many other exercises we can do for biceps. And if you do this for biceps, fair enough, but I know you're doing this for your back. So, drag the elbow into the back pocket, slowly release out, keep the tension. Again, we don't let it come up and come off the lats. Chest stays up, and we're dragging both our elbows down towards our hip. That's the only thing to think about. Drag elbows, everything else will move automatically. The beauty of this exercise is very, very loadable. Where the single arm pull down, not as loadable, but still relative to each arm. This you can put a fuck ton of weight through. You could go a bit higher rep range, and this will, if you can't do weighted pull-ups or pull-ups in general, this is where I want you to start. And I am doing my initial pull day, these 4 exercises in order. This is what I'm doing. Now, a question you may have is, can we really bias the lower portion of the lats to really get this pocket to sit out here? Because if you think about it, every exercise I've shown you so far for the lats has started where you've had to shorten from the top of the lat down to the bottom of the lat. So, I mean, would you get more upper than lower? Maybe. I'm not saying yes or no, but if we can really shift the focus to hit that lower portion, because it's a big muscle. I'm not about saying, oh, well, if you could just bias just this little portion and nothing else will work. No. You will work all of them, but just some will take a bit more of the brunt of the tension than others. So because of the sheer surface area, look at it, to be honest, probably one of the longest muscles in the body. You could say you can work the top half and the bottom half slightly differently if you're just a little bit smart about it. So this is how we're going to work that bottom half of the lat. We're going to do what's known as a lower lat cable row. And the difference between the upper back row, the arm was more, as it is here, slightly out at right angle, where there's this arm here is tucked right down into the pocket. So as you do this exercise, again, tension stays on the lat. Drag the elbow into that back pocket, wrapping it around the spine. The same mistakes as the single arm pull down will apply to this. Arm coming too far forward, tension going off the lat onto the shoulder, not keeping the torso upright and folded in, and elbow maybe coming too wide. That is, I don't know why my cameraman was filming the arm moving, but it's good. And that there will be your main mistakes here. So keep the tension on, wrap that lat around the back. Maybe even on this, the arm comes a little bit far forward, but actually it's not too bad on the whole. Brace yourself against the bench, keep that chest upright, and just drag that elbow into that fucking back pocket. And that, honestly, if you've never, same with the single arm pull down, if you've never done this before, it will toast that lower portion of your lat. So do enjoy that one. Now, not to go off on too much of a side tangent, this is a back exercise you can do. When would I program this exercise? I would program this exercise for people that are busy as fuck, quite advanced, and just don't have that much time to train. Because what you get with this exercise is you get hamstring, glute, lower back, and then obviously the mid and upper back that you're training as well. That is awful for if you just want to toast the back, which majority of the time I do. If you are new to back training, this is an awful exercise. If you can't stabilize all of the other muscles, then you're not going to get the back anyway, because you will cave the chest in, because you just don't have the strength to hold this here. So for a lot of people, this exercise is not good to do. It's really not. For a select few, it is good to do. Would I do it myself? Not if I've got the other assets that I've shown you in the video so far. However, will it work the upper back? Yes. Is it easy to swing up versus the chest supported? Absolutely. So the point I'm making here is support your chest, take all this out of the equation, because even when the most advanced lifters do it, chest starts to come up, hips start to move, and you're not getting that contraction that we're after. Now, if you want to hit a lot of birds with one stone, this is a very good compound exercise in terms of look at everything. This is almost like a full body exercise. This is just food for thought. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but I saw it on there and thought, I'm going to show the guys. Okay, the last exercise I'm going to show you, and maybe the most advanced, is the weighted pull-up. So obviously if you can do pull-ups, great, but there will come a point where you're just too, you can do 3-4 sets of 10 and you're happy with that. And you could keep going up in reps, but actually we want to stay in the hypertrophy rep ranges of 8 to 12. It would actually serve you to start lowering it up. And you know what? It's very nice to stroke the ego and just stick some weight on and still throw yourself up and down. Now, why I like this exercise is, to be honest, it's just hard all the way through. Even when you're at the bottom and you're in full fucking stretch with all the load on, dangling from the bars, your lats, they're getting a good fucking stretch at the bottom in the eccentric phase, which is nice to see. And then it's literally just hard all the way through. So this is something we can progress on, absolutely. Still control the tempo, get that squeeze at the top. When you're doing this, try to think about keeping the chest up and out as much as possible. And again, when you're doing your pull-ups, set your arms in the same path that you would have them for the lat pull down. Don't go stupidly wide or stupidly narrow. keeping the chest up. I've strapped up to this. I found that my grip would go before my ability to actually get a last few reps out, so I started to strap up. Chest starts to cave in towards the back end of the set, but you know what? I'll take that on the 10th rep. I'm still clearing the bar, which is the most important thing. But that's an exercise I would progress onto, and that's something I do on my. So I train back twice a week. I recommend you do the same because of the sheer size of the muscle. It would warrant you to train it twice a week. So session 1 is single arm pull down, the upper back row you saw, upper trap row or shrug, and then the lat pull down. And then on the chest and back day, we do the pull-ups, we do the shrug again, because priority, we need to grow those upper traps for me personally. We do the lower lat row, and that's it. So they're the exercises what I would do in order to blow your back up, and the common exercises that come with it. We know the importance of growing a back and actually just cross over to everything else. So I hope you found this video of value. If you did, save the exercises, go over the coaching points, write them down, put those into your training program. And if there's anything you think I missed or didn't cover and you would like to hear me give you the gen, then of course drop it in the comments below, because you know what we're like here. We like a little bit of anatomy, a little bit of exercise execution, no sucky fluff, and just good stuff here. So subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because I'll be delivering more value on this. If you want to see the same style of video delivered for shoulders, chest, arms, legs, then just drop it in the comments below, the one that you specifically would like to have light shined on. You can catch me on Instagram. That's where I post like results and stories on a daily. If you want to see what I'm doing on a day-to-day, if you care, or if you just know about a bit more about me. And if you want to actually, if you want me to change your physique and your life, there'll be a link in the description. And I will see you in the next one.